Welcome to Black Brilliance on the B-Side. My name is Andrew Weaver. I am your host and creator. Black Brilliance on the B-Side is all about being able to bring all the brilliance of black people in the past all together so that we can be able to learn about our history, finally, about what we've done and what we contributed. Far too often they've told black people that they haven't done anything, that we were lazy, we were just slaves, and now we just want stuff for free. Well, trust me, there are great things that we have done. There are brilliant things that we have done. We may not have made the most profit from it, but we have contributed. Here's what I'm going to do from here on out is being able to expose all the great and brilliant black people out there that may not have gotten their respect. If you like what we're doing on Black Brilliance on the B-Side, please subscribe to our channel and hit that button at the top with the bell that gives you the notification of when we release our latest video. Let's get to it. So this week, we're working with Bessie Blount Griffin. Now, she was born on November 24th, 1914. At this time, the president was Woodrow Wilson, and we were going through World War I. Now, the music that was playing at that time when she was born, that her parents may have been like dancing to or having a good time with, is Ballin the Jack by James Reese Europe, a black brother that was very popular at the time, the leader of a band / orchestra. So that brother, the music is playing right now. And what you'll see is that once I start talking about the different eras and give you a little taste of what it was like at that person growing up in that particular era, you'll hear the music as I mention it in the background, just to let you know. And if you want to listen to that music yourself, I'll leave the link in the description. If you want to buy it, I'll also leave a link. And more than likely, I'll get some kind of fee from that if you buy it from one of my affiliates, just to let you know. Okay, she was born in Hickory, Virginia, which is now Chesapeake. It was a small community in Princess Anne County. Bessie Blount Griffin attended Diggs Elementary School in Hickory, Virginia, an educational facility built after the Civil War for the opportunity of educational advancement for African American children. Now, while she was attending this school, her teacher rapped her on the hands every time she wrote with her left hand. And now this happened to me even in the 70s, some 50 odd years later from this. I went to Catholic school and they would hit me on the hand if I did something out of the ordinary, like writing with my left hand. They always wanted me to write with my right. And that's why I'm ambidextrous. And that's the same thing that happened to Bessie Blount Griffin. But she didn't take it just there. She went further and challenged herself, and she started teaching herself how to write with her mouth. She extended that to both feet, left and right. She could write just as fluent with all of her limbs and her mouth. An amazing thing. Now, she did this just for her own enlightenment, but later in her life, that was utilized to do some of the amazing things in her career that you wouldn't even guess. No one would even fathom that this is something that would have happened. So let's get to her life a little bit more. She went to 6th grade in an elementary school. That's as far as education would go for black people at that time in Virginia. So her family moved to New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. And that's where she went on to further her education, but she self-educated. It wasn't like she went to a school. And then she got her GED. And then after that, she went to nursing school. So she studied nursing at the Community Kenny Memorial Hospital in Newark. So another amazing thing is that the school that she went to was Kenny, Kenney, and the head person of that was a Dr. Joseph A. Kenny, also an amazing person. That he started this in 1927, and it was just a medical facility, and by 1935, it was a community hospital. We're going to cover Dr. Joseph A. Kenny later on, but she learned nursing there. After obtaining her nursing degree, she continued her education in Panzer College, now called Montclair State University, and Union County Junior College. And that's called Union County College now, where she obtained certification in physical therapy. Now, physical therapy was relatively new. She was one of the few African American physical therapists at that time. She blended a certain thing with it. She never just did anything just normal. Like just go to work and come home and just do what you're told and taught. No, she went above and beyond. So one of the greatest things that she did was that she found out that her patients, they were losing a little pep in their step. They weren't always happy. They were a little bit depressed. So just like if you ever saw the movie Patch Adams, where Robin Williams plays a doctor who's dealing with, critically ill patients, and he makes them laugh by dressing up as a clown and doing jokes and so forth. Well, in her situation, what she did interpretive dance. If you don't know what that is, check this video out. Now, can you imagine her dancing around in front of her patients after administering whatever kind of physical therapy she had to do to lighten their load, to make them smile and feel just a little bit better? That was an amazing thing to find out, that the kind of heart this woman had and the ability to be able to blend what she loved to do and actually give these people a show of interpretive dance. The smiles, the happiness she must have put on their hearts at the time. It's just an amazing thing to hear. Soon after, World War II created an influx of soldiers in need of physical therapy. These wounded warriors needed to come to the veteran hospital and be able to have therapy. Now, they were losing limbs, whether they had both arms gone, one leg, paralyzed, so on and so forth, right? And she had to perform physical therapy on these wounded warriors. Well, the thing is that she recognized some of the equipment that they were using was inadequate. So Griffin found innovative ways to rehabilitate her patients. In particular, she helped armed amputees compensate by teaching them to use their feet to eat, to write, to give them a piece of their life back. This is where what she learned on her own, what she taught herself as a kid, came into play. If you don't believe things happen for a reason, this lady's life will let you know that. She utilized what she was taught based on admonishment from a teacher that made her believe that she had to do something extra, learn something new. And it opened up her mind, and she used it just for fun, and it turned out being a blessing to multiple wounded warriors out there who needed physical therapy. And not only that, she lifted their spirits and helped them get their dignity back. Because in this situation, she allowed them to be able to start writing again and be able to have some kind of connection, be able to feed themselves when they had no arms. They can do it with their feet, some kind of connection back to some normalcy. And she didn't have to do this. This is something that came out of her. And we're so proud of this sister for the things that she did and she created. Now, this is just coming from her heart, but we haven't even gone into what she actually created, okay? Now, this Black brilliant sister realized that paraplegics, people who couldn't move. Now, these men were mostly men that I've seen videos of, were warriors. They were out there fighting. They were strong and fast, and they were in the military. They were not weak men. And then they come out and literally have no limbs, no way to get around. The depression must have been really thick. And she ended up creating something to give them some more dignity. Not only did she dance for them, not only did she try new techniques, not only did she teach them how to write with their feet. If they didn't have arms or legs and they could still move around, she taught them how to write with their mouths. So not only did she bring all of herself to them and give them as much as she could, Bessie Blount Griffin came up with a device that would help paraplegics get their dignity back, how to help them feed themselves. Now, how do you do this? How do you eat? She created what we would call the feeding tube, an electronic self-feeding apparatus for amputees and people who were paralyzed. Now, what this device did, it was a tube that transported individual bites of food to the patient's mouth. All the patient would simply do was bite down on the tube, and then the food would dispense to the mouthpiece from the advanced machine that would dispense the next portion of food into the patient's mouth when prompted. This thing was called a portable receptacle support. That happened in 1951 when she got a patent. The popular song around there was called 60-Minute Man by the Dominoes. Enjoy that as well right now in the background. She came up with that patent on the exact date of April 24th, 1951, she was granted that patent, but it was 3 years after she had filed it in 1948. That same year, she married Thomas Griffin, and they would go on to have a son named Philip. Now, her original name was Betsy Virginia Blount, but when she got married, it was Bessie Blount Griffin. Don't know what happened to the Virginia. The American Veterans Administration declined Blount's invention. This sister did not let that stop her. In 1952, Lawdy, Miss Clawdy was on the airwaves, and that was by Lloyd Price. Now, Elvis Presley recorded that too, little thief. But anyway, recorded that as well. But that was by this brother named Lloyd Price, not Elvis. At that time, the French government purchased the patent rights of her portable receptacle support, and they put it in widespread use in the military hospitals across that country and in some of its colonies. This ingenious apparatus positioned Griffin as one of the earliest inventors in the burgeoning field of physical therapy. One of the first, and the first African American. Now, here's the thing. That was not her only invention. She created something called Emesis Basin, a device still standard in Belgian hospitals today. Once again, she tried to give this device to America, and they did not want any part of it. In 1953, she was the first black woman to appear on a television show called The Big Idea. The music that was playing back then on the radio was Nat King Cole, Pretend. That was one of the top hits. Now, The Big Idea, I couldn't find any video of it, but they remade that with a guy named Donnie Deutsch a few years ago called The Big Idea. But this happened in 1953, and this exposed her invention to a popular audience. So the world got to know at the time that there was a brilliant black sister that created a lot of this stuff. It's just amazing. In 1969, the music that was playing was Sly The Family Stone, Everyday People. Love that song. Now, this is when she started her second career. Now, she called it a second career. I call it way more than that, because the sister started out being a physical therapist. Well, first of all, being a nurse, then going to a physical therapist, then going to being an inventor and creator of different technologies and something like that. And then Griffin began her career in forensics as a chief examiner for the police departments in Norfolk, Virginia. She was the first African-American woman admitted as a student at the Document Division of the Metropolitan Police Forensic Science Laboratory in London, England. For those of y'all who don't know, which I didn't know, now I do, that is Scotland Yard. That happened in 1977 when she got that promotion. And in 1977, The Emotions was on the air singing The Best of My Love. I was 6 years old at the time. She maintained a private practice as a consultant to law enforcement and law firms on legal strategy and procedure until 1983. Now, what was playing in 1983? If y'all don't remember, Dionne Warwick and who? Luther Vandross. If y'all don't remember 1983, some of the hit songs back then, at the time, one of the hit songs that was on the airways in the top 10 or top 100, something like that, was Dionne Warwick and Luther Vandross singing How Many Times Can We Say Goodbye? All right. She also had a brief stint as a journalist. Now, if you don't get, boy, I'm telling you something. This woman was just unbelievable. She started out having an education where she had to stop at 6th grade, got her GED, went from getting her GED going to nursing school, running into all kinds of amazing black brilliant people on the way. She made breakthroughs in research in medical graphology. She held high-ranking memberships in numerous respected organizations and was an outspoken advocate of equal rights for the marginalized. She was bestowed several honors in her lifetime, including the New Jersey Joint Legislative Commendation. Blount cultivated a reputation among the inventor community. Among her closest friends was Theodore M. Edison, son of Thomas Alva Edison, with whom she discussed many ideas and projects. She continued to innovate and create. Blount was honored in 1992 by the American Academy of Physical Therapy, an African-American focused physical therapy organization. She also got an award for Virginia Women in History in 2005. Now, it is said that she applied for a job with the FBI, but it was turned down. She then began operating her own business using her forensic training to examine pre-Civil War documents and so-called slave papers. Oh, I wish I could find out more about that. She operated the business until she was 83 years old. These are amazing things this Black brilliant sister was able to do. And I feel ashamed that it's 50 years old when I found out. But I'm thankful that I did, right? And hopefully that you know now, it'll help you in your journey in life. That's my gift to you, is that you know this now so that you can do something about it and not only just honor her, but give yourself that opportunity to be just as successful as this brilliant Black sister. Because sometimes we don't know things are possible because we don't see it happening with anybody in our nearest community, or we're not capable of being an orator like Martin Luther King, and it's like that's so far off. But we have so many brilliant Black brothers and sisters out there just like yourselves. I truly believe you're just as brilliant. It's just that you don't know it yet. Now, at the age of 95, we lost our Black brilliant sister, Bessie Blount Griffin. She passed away on December 30th, 2009 in Newfield, New Jersey. If you don't know what was planned back then in 2009 when we lost our brilliant Black sister, Bessie Blount Griffin, it was Maxwell, Pretty Wings, a beautiful song for a beautiful Black sister. If you like what we're doing on Black Brilliance on the B-side, please subscribe to our channel and hit that button at the top with the bell that gives you the notification of when we release our latest video. Until next time, I'm Andrew Weaver, your host of Black Brilliance on the B-side. Take care.